Okay, so today we're in the RV. In fact, we are in the bathroom, which you can obviously tell. You may be asking yourself, why are we in the bathroom? Well, we're going to try to address a problem that I think probably affects a lot of people with RVs, but we decided we're going to finally do something about it. In the shower, you'll see we have your standard RV shower valve, hot, cold with the shut-off switch, all those good things. The problem with this setup is it does not maintain the water temperature very well at all. So if you finally get the water set to the temperature you like, once you shut off the water after you've gotten yourself wet and you're soaping up and you go to rinse off, you turn the water back on and boom, you either have scalding hot water or ice cold water. So now you're readjusting the temperature again and it just does not hold the temperature. So I found a product that we're going to try out. It's not necessarily made for RVs. In fact, it's not made for RVs. It's something you'd use in a house, but I'm going to attempt to make it work. As you notice, this shower valve, there is this big plastic guy around the perimeter. I'm going to have to take this off and replace it with something a little bit larger to put in the valve that I have as a replacement. So I will show you what we've got that we plan to try to use. Okay, so here's what we've got. What I purchased was this brass and chrome mixing valve, which is substantially heavier than the plastic unit that's in there. But one thing you'll notice here is on this side, you have the ability to set the temperature. The readings are in Celsius. You set the temperature to the water temperature you like for your shower, and it stays put there. And then to control the shower, this side turns the flow on and off. So you can actually turn off the flow completely, turn it on, and this is really all that you have to change. The shower will still attach to the normal 1/2-inch outlet here as far as the shower head itself. Couple things that are different with this unit versus the standard RV unit is the distance between the two feeds here. The standard RV unit is only 4 inches apart. This is obviously much wider. Comes with some adapters that still don't get it quite the distance that we need, and comes with some trim plates and things, but it's going to take some work to get this actually retrofitted in to work with the RV shower. So I purchased a few other items. I talked about having to make a new plate to replace the standard plate that's on there that the valve's attached to, and what I'm using is actually just a white plastic cutting board that I picked up at the local hardware store, and I'm going to cut this to the shape that I need and use this as my mounting base for my shower valve, which will then be attached to the shower. It's white, so I don't have to worry about painting it. It'll match the shower okay. Won't have to worry about it rusting or anything like that. So still not 100% sure how well this is going to work out. Picked up a few extra pieces, some 1/2-inch lock nuts and some 3/4-inch lock nuts. Also a couple different rubber gaskets that I'm going to attempt to make kind of a gasket around the trim ring with. So we'll see how it works. So for now we're going to take apart the existing shower head or shower valve just to make sure we know exactly what we're working with, and then we're going to get started attempting to make this cutting board into our mounting plate. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this existing shower valve. There is some silicone around here, but we should be able to pop it right free from the silicone. There we go. Now that's loose. And remove the hot and cold water supply. Okay, so that's the shower valve removed. I'm going to use this piece to mark the holes. I'm going to utilize these same holes to mount the new faucet assembly, new valve assembly. But one thing I'm considering doing is actually mounting some wood backing behind the backs of this fiberglass, because these screws tend to strip out very easily and I really don't want that to happen. So I think I'll put some wood behind there as blocking, And then I'm going to clean up all this old silicone, and then we'll move on to making the plate for the new valve. All right, I know these two 2x4s aren't going to be the prettiest thing in the world, but I'm going to work these 2x4s into the wall behind the shower, and then I'll use the existing screws. So I'm putting some adhesive on the back of these so they'll stick to the wall. But I have a big fear of these. So I've got this 2x4, some silicone or some construction adhesive on it. I'm going to attempt to get it inside this wall without making too much of a mess. Okay. So mission accomplished, sort of. 2x4s in the wall. I'm going to attempt to get these original screws. So I'm going to drive these wood screws directly into this 2x4 as well as the fiberglass. And I'm just going to let these sit in here at the moment. Okay, here comes the second piece. Alright, so now I know when I put my new shower valve in and my new plate is attached, it'll be solid in the wall and I won't have to worry about it pulling through the fiberglass. Now we'll go work on that plate. We're going to see how this works. I'm going to attempt to cut this cutting board with this oscillating saw. So there's the basic cut. Obviously we need to do a little work on that. So that actually went extraordinarily well. Not perfect, can use a little more refining, but the big dilemma that I have is, as you can see, it's not perfectly rectangular. From the distance here is about a ½ an inch different than the distance here. So I've got to decide if I want to try to shave each one of these sides down about ½ an inch to square this off so that it's perfectly square. I think I'm going to set the faucet against it, take a couple looks and see if it's worth going through all that, because right now it's going to look nice and clean. If I mess around with it too much, we might just make it worse. So we'll go check all that out and make a decision. Okay, so we're back out here at our trusty workstation. Here's our old shower valve. We're going to need this. I'm going to utilize this to mark the holes where this will line up on the wall. And as you'll notice, I did decide to just leave the plastic wider at the top and bottom. It's not a huge difference. I don't think you're going to be able to tell when it's done. I guess we'll find out. So for the moment, what I want to do is just get the marks for these 4 holes. Okay, so that should be all we need for those. So now I'm going to start figuring out where I need to make the holes to mount our plate. So with this valve, it comes with these offset fittings, which I'm going to move these so they're facing into the center to get us as close as possible to being centered. Alright, so those are both snug, both pretty straight. As you can see, they're going to angle in a little bit. So what we'll do next, this will actually be how the finished product looks against the wall. But for the time being, we're going to figure out where the holes need to be in the mounting plate. Okay, so there's the holes that need to be drilled. Everything looks relatively lined up. So this plastic's actually a little tougher than it looks, so we'll start with a small bit and get a pilot hole for each spot. Okay, so now we're good with pilot holes. The other thing that was nice about using this cutting board is, as you can see here, there's a groove all the way around. So my plan is to fill this groove up with silicone. Then when I press it to the wall, it's going to naturally form a seal around the outer perimeter, and then I shouldn't have to put a big messy bead of silicone around the outside. So to drill the large holes in the center, we're going to use a unibit, which is made for, it's a step bit or a unibit they call it. Okay, so there you have it. That'll be my new base plate for the shower valve. And let's see. Yay. So we'll do a little test fit here. Okay, so here's looking from the side, top. So this is basically what it will look like from inside the shower. And then on the back here, here's where we'll attach. I've got a couple of 1/2-inch lock nuts here that I'm going to put on here to tighten up against the plastic, and then the threads will hold on the water supply lines the rest of the way. So yeah, there you have it. I'm also going to put a couple, since these fit kind of loosely, I got some 3/4 inch lock nuts to place right in this area. Okay, so now that guy is snug as opposed to falling off like that. So we'll do the same on this one. Snug, and then we'll snug up that lock nut. There we go. Now the whole operation is nice and tight. Okay, so the next step is going to be to permanently attach the faucet to this plate. And I'm thinking what I'd like to do is I'm going to go in and test fit the plumbing fittings to make sure that they snug up tight enough for the rubber gaskets to make a good seal. So I'm going to go try that and I'll be back. Okay, so I went in and test fit the plumbing fittings, and when I put the fittings on here, in order for the rubber to be tight against this plastic or against the brass and have a good watertight seal, the fitting is almost against this plastic but not all the way, which means that I still got a little bit of movement there. But the problem is, if I put these 1/2-inch lock nuts that I purchased on, I have a feeling that I'm going to lose too much space for those to fit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a different unibit and I'm going to make these holes on the back side a little bit larger so that this lock nut can actually recess into the plastic a little ways and still allow as much threads as possible for the actual water pipes to fit on. Yeah. So I've got basically a larger unibit. So I'm just going to try going on the back side and making the hole just one size larger. I think with the wrench I can perhaps get that dug down into the plastic that it'll be enough that it's going to work. But prior to doing that, one of the things that I'd like to do is, since this is one area where water gets in here, it'll actually get inside the wall. So I'm thinking I'm going to put a little bit of silicone around that area, down inside that groove. So I'm thinking that'll be enough once this lock nut gets down inside the plastic. Okay, that seems to be pretty good and tight, and I still have a fair amount of threads there, and this should be nice and snug to the wall. Now I can pull this guy off and do the same with the silicone. Alright, so there you have it. There's our new shower valve. It'll actually be mounted like this in the shower, attached to the wall. The one difference from the regular shower head is that this one has to be coming out the top rather than the bottom. But other than that, it should be great. So we will go do a test fit and see how this goes. Okay, I'm doing what I can to get you guys a view of what I'm doing here. So at the moment I'm going to take these screws back out. Those blocks of wood should now be held in place by the glue. It seems like the trickiest part of this operation might in fact be the bead of silicone I talked about putting around the inside of that plastic. When I go to install this, I have very little room to get my hands back in here to attach these fittings, and my fear is that I'm just going to smear this silicone all over the world. But still seems like it's worth a try, so we're going to give it a shot. Guess I was wrong about the screws being held in place, or the wood being held in place. That will definitely create a problem for me if this won't stay put. So the solution I have for this problem is putting one tiny screw at the face of here to hold the wood on each side. I will go get the equipment for that. Okay, time is sort of the essence here. I've already started that bead of silicone on the other part. I need these holes to be big enough for my screw head. I need my screw head to countersink into the wood, or into the fiberglass. There we go. So that's basically flush. So now I can remove these screws once again. Okay, so now I've got my valve assembly here, coated with silicone. So now we attempt to attach these without getting silicone on everything. This is definitely not a fun place to try to work. Wow, I am coating myself in silicone, kind of like I thought I would. Not sure of the wisdom of this plan at the moment. As with all plumbing connections, normally too tight is not any better than loose. So I'm thinking at this point the wise maneuver is going to be to install our shower head, turn the water back on, and make sure we have no leaks. Okay, so we have a shower head installed, and now we're going to turn on the pump. No leaks at the moment. Okay, try the flow. And fortunately, the way this worked, none of the silicone has touched the sides, so we're still good on the silicone. Little problem, there is a wood backing behind the cold water valve, right back there, that's keeping the pipe from going all the way back into the wall, so it's not allowing the valve to go into the wall. So, put you on hold and we're gonna have to figure that out. Okay, so we're back. That was the opposite of fun. As you can see, there's that piece of stud back there, which I had to notch out for our water pipe. So that's now notched. But I am seeing no leaks. Okay, I think we're good and tight. A little bit of silicone oozed out around the edge, which is what we were looking for. And I think our install is good. So I'm going to clean up, get things all put back away, and we'll come back and see how it all works. Okay, so here we are back in the bathroom where we started. And difference is now we're all installed, cleaned up. I'll show you what it looks like. So there's the final installation. So you can see the hose has to come out the top here, which is a little bit different than the old shower valve used to be, but that is a small sacrifice to make for being able to set the temperature. So we still have our Oxygenics shower head. The plate turned out good. Everything fits well, no leaks. So now we're looking forward to showers tonight, and we will report back one final time as to whether we feel it took care of our problem. Okay, coming to you today from Prescott National Forest, where we're boondocking for the next few days. It's a beautiful day outside, and we have now had a chance to have multiple showers with the new shower mixing valve, and very happy to report, perfect. The wife loves it, I love it. We're able to take showers separated by time from each other, say 15 minutes. Second person goes in, turns on the valve. Temperature is exactly where you left it. No more scalding water, no more cold water. Definitely a very, very good improvement for us. By no means was it a plug and play installation. It took some work and some working through some problems to get it to work. But I'm definitely glad that I took the time and effort to get it done. In case anyone's interested, I will put a description and a link to the product that I actually purchased down in the description, so that you can check it out for yourself. I'm hoping that we inspired you maybe to tackle some RV projects of your own. If you liked the video, we'd really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. Be sure to check out our channel for all the other videos that we've got posted there as well. And until next time, thanks for watching.